Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We're so glad that you're here. I'm Steve,
And I'm Scott.
and together we're Backyard Musings, the Science and Technology channel.
Yeah, and this morning, we were talking about dementia, which is it's a common interest that we have because it's just a nasty disease, Alzheimer's as well. It just ruins people's lives and the lives of people around them that have this disease. So it's tough. And we've been talking about this off and on for a long time, and we hope that they come up with a cure. So this is a good story.
Dementia is more than memory loss, and rare types can affect vision, movement, and behavior. Recognizing these symptoms early can improve diagnosis and support. When most people hear the word dementia, they think of memory loss and forgetfulness, but dementia can affect far more than memory, causing changes in speech, behavior, sleep, movement, and other functions. Would you like to know more?
Yeah, I've known people that have had this disease, and I mean, you don't know what you're going to get from day to day. Sometimes they're agitated, sometimes they're friendly. It's very it's not a normal constant. So dementia is not a single disease, but a broad term that includes more than 100 different conditions. Alzheimer's disease is the most common form, accounting for about 60% of cases, and memory problems are among its best known symptoms. The remaining 40% of dementia cases involve rarer forms that are often harder to diagnose and may require more specialized care. While many people are familiar with conditions such as Lewy body dementia, Parkinson's disease dementia, and frontotemporal dementia, awareness of the other uncommon forms remains limited. So yeah, I'm not familiar with that Lewy body dementia, but the other ones that I have, I'm familiar with those. So, but yeah, lots of stuff. 100, that's crazy.
Yeah. Recognizing the warning signs of these lesser known dementias early may help people receive the care and support they need sooner. Posterior cortical atrophy, PCA, affects mostly visual and spatial functioning. Memory is not as badly affected early on as it is in Alzheimer's disease.
People with PCA can struggle with visual hallucinations and spatial navigation. This can become apparent when reading or judging depth and space on a staircase, making it difficult to judge where the next step is, for example. Symptoms commonly start appearing between the ages of 55 and 65.
There's still much we don't know about PCA because of how rare it is. Researchers are still trying to figure out whether PCA is a distinct subtype of dementia or whether it's an atypical form of Alzheimer's disease. This is because the brain changes that occur in people with PCA closely resemble those that occur in people with Alzheimer's disease, although the symptoms are different. It's also estimated that between 5 to 15% of people with Alzheimer's have PCA.
Oh boy. Is that Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease is a particularly rare form of dementia, affecting about 1 in 1 million people worldwide. Wow. Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease is a prion disease. I don't know what that is exactly. These diseases involve prion proteins, which for unknown reasons suddenly change into a three-dimensional shape. The function of healthy prions remains unknown, but they appear to play some role in protecting nerves and brain cells and keeping this body's circadian rhythm functioning, which is the natural 24-hour cycle our body follows that controls everything from sleep, digestion, and immunity.
The misfolding of prion proteins in Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease causes a very rapid and severe form of dementia, progressing much more quickly than Alzheimer's disease or Lewy body dementia, for example. Besides the notably quick nature of progression, people with Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease struggle with memory and movement, including sudden, jerky movements.
Risk factors for this subtype of dementia include old age and genetics, occurring in about 10 to 15% of the cases. In very rare cases, it can also develop as a result of contamination, such as from eating beef from cattle infected with mad cow disease. Oh boy.
Yeah, so this was an episode on the X-Files. Mulder and Scully went out to this farm. I think it was Amish, because the people were coming down with this Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease from the cattle that had mad cow disease. They thought it was something else, and then when they got there and did the investigating, they realized it was from the beef. Okay.
Oh.
FTD-MND is a form of frontotemporal dementia that occurs alongside motor neuron disease. Frontotemporal dementia refers to subtypes of disease that cause gradual brain tissue loss in the frontal and temporal lobes of the brain. Motor neuron disease, on the other hand, is a rapidly progressing neurological condition which can lead to difficulties breathing, movement, and paralysis, although it affects the brains and nerves. It is not itself a form of dementia.
Approximately 10 to 50% of people with frontotemporal dementia also develop motor neuron disease. This co-occurrence seems to be linked to a mutation in the C9orf72 gene. Because of this genetic link, FTD-MND can run in families.
People with FTD-MND experience several muscle-related issues, including muscle wasting, stiffness, and problems with swallowing. These are things you would not normally associate with dementia and memory problems.
It's currently not clear whether frontotemporal dementia develops first and then motor neuron disease, or it's the other way around. Progressive supranuclear palsy, or PSP, is a rare neurological condition that causes both dementia and problems with movement.
It's estimated to affect approximately 4 million people in the UK. PSP is difficult to diagnose as it overlaps with many other conditions, including Parkinson's disease. PSP primarily leads to damage in subcortical brain regions, specifically the brain stem and basal ganglia. These areas are linked to vision and movement.
As such, people with PSP struggle using their eyes and can thus often fall and experience difficulties moving around. People with PSP can also struggle with concentrating and problem solving.
As with all dementia subtypes, there's no cure yet. While there are medications that can delay symptoms, these only work in cases of Alzheimer's disease. As such, we still need to find ways to support people with other subtypes of dementia as best as possible.
One way of doing this is by properly understanding their condition and their subtype. Knowing that someone might particularly struggle with walking and movement as opposed to memory is important to put the right care in place in advance. So
it's just as important to be able to spot the signs early on. Dementia doesn't just affect memory. Changes in behavior, problems seeing or falling more frequently, walking or moving differently, or difficulty speaking can all be early signs of dementia.
Yeah, and this is kind of an understatement here. Better understanding dementia's many forms will hopefully lead to better ways of managing and treating this complex disease. So it's a tough one.
Yep.
It's just tough. You know,
I didn't know that there were all these subforms. This is pretty cool. Getting this information.
That I would imagine just makes it more difficult, right? Because just when you're probably thinking that you've got something diagnosed and you're treating it, and then it goes into some other form, and now
they said they haven't done any work. They don't know anything about the prions on the nerves. So I'm surprised by that. Why somebody hasn't taken that as their doctoral thesis, and studied it.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
I don't know, but it's it's right up there with cancer. I mean, it doesn't kill you necessarily, but it makes life just terrible. And I think it's more so for the people around that are observing it than it is, when your mom or your dad or your brother or sister or husband or wife don't recognize you. You know, that's just got to be tough. And I've known several cases like that where they forget, and people that they see every day. It's just tough. So, but anyway,
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you in the afternoon.
take care. Have a great morning. We'll see you this afternoon. Thanks.